International Falls is a city in and the county seat of Koochiching County, Minnesota, United States. The population was 6,424 at the 2010 census. International Falls is located on the Rainy River directly across from Fort Frances, Ontario, Canada. The two cities are connected by the Fort Frances International Falls International Bridge. Voyageurs National Park is located 11 miles east of International Falls. There is a major U.S. Customs and Border Protection port of entry on the International Falls side of the toll bridge, and a Canadian Customs entry point on the north side of the bridge. International Falls is nicknamed Icebox of the Nation, with 109.4 days per year with a high temperature below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. The airport has the most such days of any incorporated city in the contiguous United States, just surpassing nearby Duluth and Houghton. History. Although the International Falls area was well known to explorers, missionaries, and voyagers as early as the 17th century, it was not until April 1895 the community was platted by teacher and preacher L.A. Ogard for the Koochiching Company and named the community Koochiching. The word Koochiching comes from either Ojibwe word Koochiching or Creek Ososik, both meaning at the place of inlets, referring to the neighboring Rainy Lake and River. The European inhabitants gave the names Rainy Lake and Rainy River to the nearby bodies of water because of the mist-like rain present at the falls, where the lake flowed into the river. On August 10, 1901, the village was incorporated and 2 years later its name was changed to International Falls in recognition of the river's role as a border between the United States and Canada. It was incorporated as a city in 1909. Realizing the potential for water power and mills in the area, industrialist E.W. Backus, president of the Minnesota and Ontario Paper Company in the early 20th century, built a dam on the Rainy River to power the company's mills. Purchased by Boise Cascade Corporation in 1965 and sold to an investment group in 2003, the company remains the largest business and employer in the area. In 2013, Boise laid off 265 employees and closed down a paper machine. It then sold to Packaging Corporation of America. Geography. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city has a total area of 6.53 square miles, of which 6.42 square miles is land and 0.11 square miles is water. Climate. International Falls, with its relatively central position in the North American continent, has a humid continental climate with long, bitterly cold winters and humid warm summers. January averages 2.7 degrees Fahrenheit, and lows reach 0 degrees Fahrenheit on average of 58 nights annually. Highs only reach the freezing point or above an average of 14-15 days between December 1 and February 28, and in combination with an average seasonal snowfall of 71.6 inches. Snow cover is deep and long-lasting. Spring, and more especially autumn, are short but mild transition seasons. July averages 65.2 degrees Fahrenheit, with highs reaching 90 degrees Fahrenheit, an average of only 3.2 days annually, and in close to 40% of years, the temperature does not rise that high. Precipitation averages about 24.1 inches per year, and is concentrated in the warmer months. The average window for sub-freezing temperatures is September 15 through May 26. The all-time record high temperature is 103 degrees Fahrenheit, while the all-time record low is -55 degrees Fahrenheit, a range of 158 degrees Fahrenheit. Icebox of the nation. International Falls has long promoted itself as the icebox of the nation. However, the trademark for the slogan has been challenged on several occasions by the small town of Fraser, Colorado. Officials from Fraser claimed usage since 1956, International Falls since 1948. The two towns came to an agreement in 1986, when International Falls paid Fraser $2,000 to relinquish its official claim. However, in 1996, International Falls inadvertently failed to renew its federal trademark, although it had kept its state trademark up to date. Fraser then filed to gain the federal trademark. International Falls submitted photographic proof that its 1955 Pee Wee hockey team traveled to Boston, Massachusetts with the slogan. After several years of legal battles, the United States Patent and Trademark Office officially registered the slogan with International Falls on January 29, 2008. Registration number 3,375,139. Only a few days after announcing its success in the trademark battle, International Falls had a daily record low temperature of -40 degrees Fahrenheit, beating a previous record of -37 degrees Fahrenheit in 1967. Besides Fraser, there are still many towns that are smaller and annually overall colder than International Falls, many of these being mountain communities in the Rockies, as well as several in northern Minnesota. International Falls is still called the icebox of the nation after winning the claim against Fraser in court. One thing that does help hinder International Falls is that Fraser is located within the Rocky Mountains, which would help to depress low temperatures, while International Falls is located on relatively flat land, which takes longer to cool on warm summer nights. Also, while sub-freezing temperatures are very common at high elevation, valley sites in the Rockies during the winter, maximum temperatures that remain sub-freezing are quite rare, while at International Falls and much of the upper Midwest they are of relatively frequent occurrence. This is reflected by the average monthly temperatures during the winter months. Demographics. As of 2000, the median income for a household in the city was $29,908, and the median income for a family was $41,458. Males had a median income of $41,584 versus $20,053 for females. The per capita income for the city was $19,171. About 10.0% of families and 14.5% of the population were below the poverty line, including 20.5% of those under age 18 and 12.3% of those age 65 or over. 2010 census. As of the census of 2010, there were 6,424 people, 2,903 households, and 1,645 families residing in the city. The population density was 1,000.6 inhabitants per square mile. There were 3,157 housing units at an average density of 491.7 per square mile. The racial makeup of the city was 93.3% white, 1.0% African American, 2.5% Native American, 0.2% Asian, 0.1% from other races, and 2.8% from two or more races. Hispanic or Latino of any race were 1.1% of the population. There were 2,903 households, of which 26.6% had children under the age of 18 living with them. 39.1% were married couples living together. 12.1% had a female householder with no husband present. 5.5% had a male householder with no wife present, and 43.3% were non-families. 37.4% of all households were made up of individuals, and 16.4% had someone living alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.16 and the average family size was 2.80. The median age in the city was 42.4 years. 21.9% of residents were under the age of 18, 8.6% were between the ages of 18 and 24, 22.4% were from 25 to 44, 27.3% were from 45 to 64, and 19.8% were 65 years of age or older. The gender makeup of the city was 48.1% male and 51.9% female. Local media. Radio International Falls is home to two commercial radio stations, KGHS and KSDM, owned and operated by Red Rock Radio. Two non-commercial radio stations in International Falls, KBHW and KXBR, owned and operated by Heartland Christian Broadcasters, Inc., and two Minnesota public radio stations from Bemidji, KNBJ and KCRB-FM. The local Icebox Radio Theatre produces radio drama broadcasts on 106.9 FM with a power output 1 watt. CFOB-FM also serves International Falls and is licensed to Fort Frances, Ontario. Television International Falls is part of the Duluth television market and is served by the following repeaters. Local cable television service is offered by Mid-Continent Communications. Newspaper. The local newspaper is the Journal. Culture. Icebox Radio Theatre. The Bacchus Community Centre opened in 2002 and serves as one of the cultural centres of International Falls. Each year, the Bacchus Performing Arts Series presents a number of musical and stage productions to the local community. The Borealis Bards Community Theatre Group has staged a number of productions since its founding in 2014, including 2015's production of Alice in Wonderland. The International Falls Post Office contains a mural, Early Lodging in Koochiching Falls, painted by Lucia Wiley. Federally commissioned murals were produced from 1934 to 1943 in the United States through the section of Painting and Sculpture, later called the Section of Fine Arts, of the Treasury Department. The WPA was the largest and most ambitious American New Deal agency, employing individuals to carry out public works projects. Transportation. Falls International Airport is a public airport located just south of the city. The airport has 2 runways. It is mostly used for general aviation but is also served by a single commercial airline, Delta Airlines Delta Connection, which has 2 daily flights to Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. Major highways. The following routes are located within the city of International Falls: U.S. Highway 53, U.S. Highway 71, Minnesota State Highway 11. Reference in pop culture. A Sears Die Hard car battery commercial was filmed here in the 1970s, playing on the city's extremely cold winter climate to promote the longevity and effectiveness of the product. It led to a parody ad aired several times in the first season of Saturday Night Live, promoting a geriatric product. The fictional Minnesota small town of Frostbite Falls, which was the hometown of cartoon cartoon characters Rocky J. Squirrel and Bullwinkle J. Moose of the Rocky and Bullwinkle Show was a spoof of the real-life International Falls. The fictional town was located in Koochiching County as well. The town was referenced in an episode of Family Matters. Notable people: Edward Backus, industrialist; Tammy Backer, PTL The 700 Club; Dean Blaise, hockey coach, University of Nebraska–Omaha and CHC; Bill Borcher, University of Oregon head basketball coach 1951–1956; Kevin Constantine, hockey coach, NHL, IHL; Jim Crotty, pro football player, Washington Redskins; Mike Curran, hockey player, 1972 Winter Olympics silver medal; Richard Doherty, Minnesota Gopher Hall of Fame hockey, silver medal 1956 Olympic Games; Arlies Johnson Maxwell, weightlifter senior world champion 1987; Bob Mason, early NHL 1984–1991, coach of Minnesota Wild; Bronco Nagurski, football player, member of the College Football Hall of Fame and the Pro Football Hall of Fame; Bronco Nagurski, Jr., football player for Notre Dame in Canadian Football League; Ernest Oberholzer, explorer, author, conservationist; Gary Sampson, hockey player, Washington Capitals; Neil Sheehy, hockey player, Calgary Flames, Hartford Whalers and Washington Capitals; NHL hockey agent, Timothy Sheehy, hockey player, United States Hockey Hall of Fame, silver medalist and captain of 1972 USA team in Winter Olympics Sapporo, Japan; Frank Uso, NFL player, New York Giants, Oakland Raiders.